come from? Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing. Where do you come from? Where you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing.
What's going on, everybody? This is The Download, coming at you weekly podcast where we're talking gaming and technology. But we got some breaking news this morning. We were talking about earthquake hits New York City, 4.8 magnitude, initial rating of actual 5.5. Crazy to see. Hopefully this doesn't continue to happen. The East Coast reported feeling shaky around that time. Luckily, it doesn't seem like this was strong enough for earthquakes or tsunami risks. However, it is close to large bodies of water, so there is that to be worried about. But crazy to hear. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's get on to see what's going on with gaming. Callie, what have you been gaming on this week?
Oh, I've been enjoying some Dragon's Dogma 2. Can't get enough of it. It's just as great as the first one.
Well, give me some initial thoughts since you're playing a possible contender for Game of the Year.
Man, what can I say? It's total improvement. I love the free flow of it. There isn't load screens as much as the original, so you're like you can just walk in and out of towns and stuff. Your pawns are a lot more interactive as well. Before, your pawns just gave you hints and stuff. Now they actually interact with each other and tell you to follow them, and they can even catch you out of the air. Like, man, this game just stepped it the way the hell up.
It's good to hear. Smart NPCs are fun to play with. I feel like we're right on the cusp of seeing AI and us really interact. Like you say, these pawns have become smarter than they ever were before in previous iterations, so that really piques my curiosity factor. That's cool to hear. Maker, what's going on? Thanks for popping on into the download. What have you been playing on this week?
A lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, trying to knock it out, you know.
Yeah.
I started up a new character in Elden Ring with one of my buddies. And we're gonna try and beat the game. Again, so that we're ready for the expansion. It's a couple months.
Sweet.
Or 2.5 months before the expansion, so we got some time. and a little bit of Helldivers with you guys, and a bit of Outlast Trials. I've been playing that a fair bit, which that's pretty fun too, and that's about it.
So, big prediction, and shout out to everybody who's out in chat. We got Simply Pwned Gaming, Vet Cloud Gaming, Nad614, Windstar, and Miss Phoenix waving, as well as Ray the Gaming Cyborg. What's up, what's up? Thanks for tuning on in. My question to you, Maker, on this Elden Ring run, are you going to be carrying a large weapon and just smash things, or are you going a different build this time?
I'm going a completely different build. I mean, this is a build that I have not done before. Because like I've done Dex builds. I've done Dex builds with like what are they called? The little glove blades or like Wolverine blades. I've done
cool.
Samurai. Yeah. I've done Blood Samurai. I've done Paladin or like Faith Strength builds. I've done Mage builds, and I've done those big strength builds that you know of. This one, I'm going Archer.
Archer, oh.
Yeah.
Well, good luck managing all that equipment, and and I
it's
hope
a lot
that
of farming.
It's a fun run. Yeah. SPG, what's been going on with you? What have you been gaming on?
Oh man, not much, dude. Actually, I'm doing the same thing Callie's doing. I'm digging in with both hands into some Dragon's Dogma 2. And just to put an exclamation mark on what he was saying, the boss fights are epic. You literally climb these giant monsters like a tree. You have to learn their animations like a Dark Souls game in a sense. Know when they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Your pawns are way more interactive, like he was saying. I watched some stuff from the first game. I haven't played the first game. But your pawns that you can have 4 people in your party, including yourself. So you have your pawn that you created, and then you can recruit 2 more pawns. Well, those pawns are from other people's playthroughs. So as you're running around the world, if that pawn has experienced something that you haven't, they'll literally stop and go, "Hey, when I was with my master, there was a chest over here." And like, it's really cool, man. But you are going to die a lot. Buckle up. Put a helmet on.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool to hear. I love to hear that the NPCs are getting smarter. That's really cool. Ray, what's been going on with you? What are you going on?
You guys know I love some Marvel Snaps. They just had a new season. The Red Hulk Baron Zemo. They got some new Avengers cards that are coming out, so I've been doing that. Shout out to GeForce Now. They hooked up some of the ambassadors with the 10-year anniversary of the Elder Scrolls, and believe it or not, I'm going to be probably streaming that next week with a partner of mine. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you, chat. Thank you, panel. Thank you, Rue.
Awesome. And Vet, I see you're on your Xbox there. What have you been gaming on this week?
I've been all over the place. I haven't done much GTA stuff online, but I have been playing I played some Battlefield 2042. What else? Sleeping Dogs, Red Dead Redemption, the first one. I've been playing a bunch of that, the multiplayer online. That is a lot of fun. Except that the NPCs are still too. I need them dumbed down a little bit more so I can get away with crimes against gaming. Otherwise, Lego 2K Drive hit Game Pass, so I've been playing that, and that is a lot of fun. Not to mention it's cross-play, so I can, if somebody has it on PlayStation, I can go up against them, and of course I'll win because I'm the best. But highly recommend that game.
Awesome. Cool to hear. Game Pass being used for all its potential. All right, well, let's get into today's show. We got a couple things to talk about. Stadia 2 is coming soon, ? We deep dive into the people creating Stadia 2. Yes, it's out there. Then we're going to be jumping into Hellblade 2 and the 30 FPS debacle or debate or artistic direction. We'll see. And then we got some Stellar Blade, the debate of booty. So we'll be talking about that as well, plus some other things we got in store for everybody. So let's jump into the first topic. Hellblade 2 confirmed to run at 30 FPS on Xbox. No performance mode is available. So, people are saying, is this disappointing? Obviously, when they released this news, they came out with the perspective, which they're trying to enforce, that this is similar to a movie, which is more of the 24 FPS, and that was their artistic direction. However, we hear from Xbox marketing team when the Series X was first being released in 2020 that 60 FPS will be the standard output, but the architecture will allow us to support up to 20 FPS. So my question to the panel is, do you believe this is a factor of artistic direction, or do you think that this is a limitation on technology and budget? I will open it up to Callie if you wanted to give some thoughts, and we can move our way down.
I don't know. I just heard about it today. I'm kind of intrigued on to see where they're gonna go with the story and everything but I haven't much played Gears. I think that's the one Xbox series that I haven't played.
All right, Maker. Do you think Hellblade 2 will be more of an artistic direction? Is that why they went 30 FPS? Or do you think it's more of a limitation on budget and technology?
I couldn't say for sure. To me, I'm leaning more artistic direction just because of hearing that they're gonna have the bars on the top and the bottom of the screen like a movie. I could definitely see them go for that lower resolution, higher fidelity, just so that, and like maximizing what they can do at 30 FPS so that, you know, it looks like a movie. I've also heard like all the fight, like the attack sequences are motion capped, so that means that, you know, they spend a lot of time making sure that it's very fluid, it looks good, and that's why I could see like it is an artistic, even more so than Starfield, because but I'm not too concerned about it myself because I'm just gonna be playing it on PC.
Do you think PC will allow you to go up to 60 FPS, or do you think for artistic direction they'll cap it?
No, they'll allow up to 60. I don't think there's any world where they'll cap.
And I think that's the giveaway. I think that's the giveaway on what's happening here. I want to touch on
go for it.
Maker, are you done first? Sorry, bud. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, man, I think it's not their artistic, you know, whatever the hell they want to do with it. Because look, man, if you don't want it to be a slideshow, is that artistic as well? Like their impression on it? I don't know. But here's the thing. You touched on something about the marketing on Xbox. Yeah, 60 FPS was marketed as the standard now. How many games are you playing in 4K 60? Not hardly any. Or it's upscaled from 720 and stuff. That's where your frame rate's going to come in on these anemic devices. Not that they're not powerful in their own right and can generate some awesome stuff, but they're going to have to use AI and upscaling from 720p to get you anywhere near 60. Hellblade 2 is going to be a technological like leap forward, or it's supposed to be, with the Unreal Engine and all the stuff they're throwing in there. They can't possibly get to 60 frames. On a high-end PC, you probably can. If you can play it over on GeForce Now, you can fire up a 4080 and churn that stuff out. So if they're shooting for 30 on console and they're going to let PCs go as high as your GPU can go, that wasn't what they were after. They want it to play well on an anemic console, I think, and that's the bottom line. And if you read into any of the marketing, like it's happening again with the PS5 Pro, they're marketing it up to sell you the moon and give you a paper sack with dog shit in it. Like, that's what marketing does. They get you to believe crazy stuff. Marketing is a powerful drug.
I just wanted to say very briefly, I mean, it also is a factor that these games are getting more and more complex, and so you are going to see more and more games struggle at the 60 FPS. I mean, I can already list a handful in the past, like, less than a year that have struggled to hit 60. I mean, just look at the release of, like, Rise of the Ronin, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you know,
Yeah,
performance
Unreal.
mode was criticized. Final Fantasy 16 had issues with its 60 frames mode. So yeah,
Well,
it's
especially when these other titles come out for the Unreal 5 that are going to actually utilize all this new technology with movie studio quality assets, with their lighting system. It's going to be harder to run those games on anemic hardware. It's going to. Because it's not like they make a standard and then they make games for a decade with that standard. They keep pushing the envelope, adding the kitchen sink, throwing in a suitcase, and then expecting it to run well. And some of it could be, the developers don't want to put the effort in. I'm not saying that they didn't want to, but you can only do so much magic.
Do you think there's gonna be an effect with that also with like TVs?
Yes.
Because televisions, how many TVs are going to be able to take advantage of that tech as well for these games and stuff?
I would say most TVs are 60 frame or 60 hertz.
I mean, yeah, there's a wide variety of TVs, even the HDMI now that if you have 2.1, if you are on the market for a screen and you have the budget for it, you can really get anything now. 8K, 120 hertz screens out there, so sky's the limit.
Okay,
But
so I'm just 3 to 5.
Ray,
Yo.
you want to jump on to, do you think that they're doing this for artistic direction like they said, or is it a limitation on the hardware and technology and budget?
I'm gonna say a little bit of both, because I mean, when you look at the game, it does look beautiful. They did put a lot of work into the artwork and stuff like that, but just I would have thought, like, I mean, it's 2024. Honestly, I thought the game was going to be at 60 frames, and then to hear that it's at 30 frames, but that's just been the norm. But I'll be honest, there is some games that I have played at 30 frames per second that's been great, but then there's been some games that that were not great. I guess it depends on the game, but I was expecting, and I'm just being honest, just a little bit more, because that's what was marketed, that's what was sold, that's what's on the side of my boxes, 120 frames and all this other stuff. And it just seems like some of these games, it's just, oh, we wanted to, it's the art, it's the visuals, it's and I agree with SPG. There's only so much you can do in a console, guys. Only so much you can do. So, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I tend to have changed my opinion while listening to everybody, but I want to get Vets in perspective on this. What do you think? Do you think this is Ninja Theory's artistic direction, or do you think it's technology and budget? Same question to you there, Vet.
I agree with Ray. I think it's both, but I don't. With the I think it's laziness. I don't think it's a technology thing with the Xbox, but itself, because we know that the consoles, most of the console, the PS5, the Xbox Series X can do that. So I would kind of say it's more on the developer, just being lazy, whether it was a budget thing or just outright laziness. I think that was it, and it could also be the artistic thing. Am I gonna play it? I don't know. I never played the first one, but I know there are people that care, about that 30 FPS, 60 FPS. There are those that don't. Some games look great running at 30, and some are still look terrible, and you can tell the difference. But like I said, I think the Series X can easily handle 60 FPS on a new game. So I think this comes down to the developer either choosing to cheap out and not add that mode, or it was more of an artistic thing.
Hey, and can I just add one thing? Like
course,
on
right.
the front, on the, because you guys, I got my boxes behind me when I stream, but on the bottom of the Xbox Series X box, it says 4K 120. I think they need to start changing the marketing and say up to. Then we got games that are up to, instead of marketing stuff at 4K 120.
You want them like what the PS5 box says, right? Because that one says, if I'm correct, it says 8K up to 120 or something like that.
Well, there is 8K capabilities. If you're streaming to an 8K TV, it'll upscale from 4K. There's just no 8K gaming content out there. So it all depends on your monitor as well. But I think the idea here that I've, surmised is, if they really wanted it to be that way, 24 frames per second like a movie, then lock it at 24 frames per second and call it cinematic gameplay, and then have that option to go performance and quality if you want. I just feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out for those on the Xbox when they were told 60 FPS previously, and I would probably lean more towards the GFN option, hoping it comes there. And if people are able to run GFN on their Xbox, that would be the place to get it at 60 FPS. I just hate the little excuse with it. Say it was a factor of budget and technology. It seems a bit of an excuse, a bit of a cop-out, but hey, if it is the cinematic mode, all the power to them. But I'm going to move on, and we're going to see Hellblade, A Journey of the Mind. So if you're pumped on the Hellblade train, on the hype train, I am still very much excited. I love the first game. I'll be trying it out on Game Pass. However, my ability to play it will be on the PC Game Pass. So that is where I will be playing it, and I will of course be putting it to up to 60 FPS if I have the option. And there is no dedicated cinematic mode. But if you want to get more hyped, it is an event where Ninja Theory is in collaboration with Cambridge Neuroscience to explore the perspectives of both those who have experienced psychosis. And you can watch it live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Sorry, I got the times. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. PT, Tuesday, April 19th. So be sure to check that out if you're on the hype train for Hellblade. So pretty cool stuff, but let's jump into Ubisoft. Did you guys know that they're holding a direct coming down the line?
Yes, I knew about it.
Yes, and Ubisoft has a couple of games. What do you think we'll see out of Ubisoft?
Star Wars.
And are you excited for anything personally? Let's start at the top. Callie, are you caffeinated? Did you want to talk anything Ubisoft? Or are you good? 3, 2, 1. Maker, are you excited for anything Ubisoft? How are you feeling?
Star Wars Outlaws look. I'm somewhat interested in that, so I want to see more news on that release date, maybe more gameplay, something to like incentivize me to pick it up, and maybe I would love to hear more about Beyond Good and Evil 2, but that's been in development hell for so long. I don't even think that one's gonna release. So that's about it for me.
Yeah, that makes I had never heard of Beyond Good and Evil.
Wow.
It got announced like in
That ain't never coming out.
2017, I think, or 2016,
Oh, wow.
something like that.
Yeah,
Skull
that's
and
never
Bones.
Yeah, it's
cousin.
yes, Skull and Bones. Think of that. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
that's never coming out.
Wow.
Um, SPG, excited for anything? Did you try any of the demos like X Defiant or Heartland? Anything
Yeah,
Ubisoft perking your attention?
those games weren't for me, man. I thought X Defiant was awful. Playing with friends is awesome and stuff, but even that couldn't bring that game up for me. But I played it a little bit. No, man, I think Star Wars Outlaws, like Maker was saying, I think that's going to be a good showing. It's getting closer to release, so they're going to probably show us a heck of a lot more about that game. But really, when it comes to Ubisoft, man, you're hard pressed to find something to be excited about. Star Wars is one of them, of course. But what, Far Cry 7? Like, what do they, I mean, another,
Assassin's Creed?
yeah, or a tactical shooter, like we
Yeah.
need another Breakpoint 2, maybe. I don't know, man. I would love to see another Breakpoint or a game like that, with a tactical shooter that you could do with friends in a squad. But yeah, not a whole lot going on over there, man. Ubisoft is suffering a little bit right now. A lot of their games, play the same, look the same. You can see a video and go, oh, Ubisoft made that. Same with Pandora. If David was in here, he's not. But David just played through Pandora, and he said the first few hours was amazing and felt very different. And then by the time he ended the game, I'm paraphrasing, but it was Far Cry with blue people, pretty much. But yeah, excited for Star Wars. I hope to see a Breakpoint or something like that. That's probably about it.
Yeah,
All right,
and
let me
maybe
get
they'll
into
make a. Oh, for sure, for sure. I just wanted to touch on one thing, and then I'll let you take it, Ray. Ubisoft is jumping into mobile world as well. Invincible guarding the globe. So I think we may see something on the mobile side as well, because we know that mobile gaming is making a huge impact on the gaming world as well. But Ray, what did you want to say on Ubisoft?
Well, first off, I wanted to give a shout out. Callie Drew Voss in the chat says he wants a Rayman. Who don't want a Rayman? But anyway,
What now?
I'm looking forward to Heartland, because I did play a little bit of that, and I just want to see what that's gonna look like, because I was a huge fan of Division, playing it on Stadia, and now I mean it looks awesome playing on GeForce Now and playing it on Boosteroid and all that. Also interested into Outlaws, Heartland, and dude, we need another Wildlands. Yo, Ubisoft, Wildlands is where it's at. Okay, we need another Wildlands. And as far as X Defiant, I could get into X Defiant. I just got pawned and owned in that game. I sucked at X Defiant.
Well, unfortunately, I feel like the finals came out and really stole a little bit of X Defiant's thunder, being a 3v3v3. But yes,
That happens when you take an idea and do it better.
Isn't it
exactly.
5 now? Isn't it 5-on-5 now?
There's different game modes. Yeah, there's a 5v5 game mode now.
I would love if they said, hey, we got a new mode on Skull and Bones where your pirates can actually go on the islands and fight and do stuff. I would love to see that on Skull and Bones.
That would have to include sword fighting and musket shots. That's unacceptable. They will never add that.
I want another Rayman. That's
Come
what
on
I
now.
want.
Come on now. 3 to 5 years, we'll have that.
Hey, what's going on, Bjorn? Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well.
Well, let me say this. We were right before you go to vet for Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Just real quick, back to the discussion. Look, man, you have to realize how much bigger 4K is compared to 1080p, and how much bigger 8K is compared to 4K. You're talking 4 times the data. So if everyone still had 1080p monitors, you wouldn't be discussing the frame rate right now, because we'd all be at 100 frames at like 1080p. But because resolution is changing and all that, the GPUs and the game makers have to catch up.
I'm with Crow. I get sick when I do 30 frames per second games, dude. And I get like when we played the Ubisoft game, what was that game? Far Cry 6. I threw up. I threw up a couple of times, and I couldn't play that game at 30 frames per second. I got motion.
Only question I have though is what was it like to game then in the 80s?
What's that?
Oh,
I said, then what was it like to
make
game
out.
them in the
Callie,
80s?
Callie, Sprites may have moved at 5 FPS, but they moved slow. So you know,
Hey,
Dude,
that's
Bro.
Super NES was a lock 60 FPS. All right,
I
it's
will say,
exactly.
surprisingly, as someone who plays almost exclusively on PC, it surprisingly Zelda was my favorite game of 2023, despite
didn't
being
run
30
30.
frames per second. Yeah,
It barely
so-
runs
Dragon's
30.
Dogma right now, man, I think is Game of the Year contender, and it's 30 FPS on console.
yeah. Like I think 30 FPS is manageable in the right setting. I could never do a FPS on 30 though.
I mean, I think everyone is different there, because I mean, some people like you're legit get motion sick, whereas others like I cannot tell the difference between 30 and 60 at all, no matter what genre it is.
I'm right there with you,
In
Bjorn.
VR, I can make
I can tell, but I also feel like you can somewhat get used to it. It's kind of like playing in VR. If you start at first, you feel sick, and then after a time, you kind of get used to it.
Well, yeah, I mean VR for sure, and in VR you kind of need more FPS due to the way it is. But yeah, like I can legit not see the difference. And to be fair, I'm the kind of person who played like 100% through Crisis 1 at 19 FPS because my PC couldn't handle anything better than that. So like I'm fine with, even with some lag, I'm pretty fine with it in FPS shooter. But then I know I'm an outlier.
And then
I don't know. If it goes sub 20, that's
and then to be honestly, guys, everybody's vision is not all the same. Okay, let's be real.
100%. Yeah.
You know, everybody's got different vision. My eyes are not what they used to be. When I used to sit up close, and my parents would tell me to back off the TV or you're gonna go blind. And but honestly, there is games that I played in 30 frames per second that were great. It's that I actually could play because I played Gotham Knights at 30 frames per second, but something about Far Cry 6, man, when I played that, I got sick. I think
it was the dips when it would drop from 30 to 22 and back to 30. That's kind of an issue.
There's also
droppage.
FPS.
Yeah, or even a game jumping between 30 and 60 can be quite jarring.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah, you're at
I've
60
also heard of
frames and it
people who-
drops to 38. You're gonna see that and feel it.
And like I've also heard of a lot of people who, as they grew older, had the opposite way that you had, Ray. Whereas like as they grew older, they get more susceptible to 30 FPS or less. Like I've heard of both.
That's
so
true.
like I think everyone, like
my
you gotta keep in
mom,
mind, everyone is
who-
very different in how they react to 60 versus 30 FPS.
Yeah, my mom who gamed regularly on the Super NES, I remember growing up. And then we got a Nintendo 64 in the home, and she was just felt so nauseous and sick just by the fact that it was 3D. So everybody's perspective, like Crow was saying here, an article was just published saying people see things differently. So again, it's all in perspective. It's all in perspective. But yes, Vet, I wanted to ask you, do you think you're going to see anything Ubisoft? Are you excited to see anything Ubisoft on this showcase? How do you feel?
Well, I think we'll see probably Star Wars Outlaw. I know they're working on some mobile games that we will probably see, and my guess is that they will make another announcement or possibly a some trailer or something for the next Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
The,
Assassin's Creed
when it'll be in
Red.
Red?
I
Yeah,
think we'll see
Yeah,
I think we'll see the full title of Red.
I think so. That's from what I've heard through a few sources. The plan is that there was a leaked information a couple months ago that they were going to have a Ubisoft Direct or something like that in June, and that's where they were going to make the announcement for the game. They were going to launch the full trailer or whatever it was going to be. So I think we'll see that as well. That one I am looking forward to because that one lets you play as, if I remember reading correctly, you can do ninja or samurai. And one will be a female character and one is a male character. And I don't remember which is which, but I'm looking forward to that one.
Well-
possibly Star Wars, but I was burned by Star Wars with Jedi Fallen Order, so I haven't touched a Star Wars game since then. Thanks,
Wow.
Stadia.
To be fair, though,
And Star
Outlaws look quite differently, and like if they,
They
if
will.
they
It's
can
over the shoulder.
do what they've set out to do with Outlaws, like if it can reach what they've said about the game and showed about the game, I think that could be a game of the year contender. Even like it looks to be an incredibly well, interesting third person action RPG, open world to set in Star Wars, and looks like if the trailers and the articles and the previews are to be believed, it could very well be one of the best games this year, one of the best games Ubisoft has put out in years. So
They've had previews already
could
for
also be.
Outlaws?
Well, you've seen
I think
gameplay clips.
There's been
I've
a
seen
gameplay showcase for like
over-the-shoulder.
15 minutes.
Yeah, they showed like the
There's been,
first
like, a
mission,
15-minute showcase.
getting off
Yeah.
the planet. Yeah.
And there's also been
Interesting
some
point
interviews
you
where they
bring up
talked
there,
more
SPG,
about it.
is does Ubisoft do remakes? I can't think of a remake that they've done.
Yeah, they've done.
They're not
Assassin's
really a remake publisher.
No, but if
that
they're
I
going to
can
announce,
bring note to.
look, man, they're all the way to Far Cry 7. So, in my
Yeah.
opinion, there's a highly likely chance that it's going to be
Now,
Far Cry 7 or
Yeah,
it
no.
will be a remake.
No. Well,
Yeah.
I did hear a rumor though. I have heard there has been some rumors and some whispers amongst the Ubisoft people that there is another what was it? Either I think another Ghost Recon game in the works. So
The
I don't know if
Splinter
they'll
Cell.
announce.
I think I heard something about Splinter Cell. They may bring
Yeah,
back.
I mean,
Splinter
Sam
Cell getting a
Fisher.
game. That's been confirmed in the past. They've also
Well,
Ubisoft have also been with some pretty hefty rumors that were,
oh,
to my knowledge,
Ray.
I think they were from a pretty good source.
yes.
Assassin's Creed 1 remake is what has been in the works for quite a while. I think it was initially even planned to be released alongside of
Ooh, the apple of
Mirage.
truth.
But I think they're pushed. They also have, apparently, according to rumors that released just earlier this week, another Prince of Persia game coming out, which is interestingly not made by Ubisoft, but actually made by the Dead Cells DLC developers, and then published by Ubisoft. And it looks to be like a roguelike to the side-scrolling platformer. So like Prince of Persia meets Dead Cells.
That's cool.
These are games that have been rumored like this week.
Ray, I played Rainbow Six Las Vegas like no tomorrow. Oh my gosh. If they
awesome.
remade that, I would be there in a heartbeat. I love that game.
I wouldn't
Ubisoft
even
has
care.
done remake, but they have done remasters in the past. Quite a lot of them.
Right. Remasters, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vegas was awesome, man. That's the one
Yeah.
where
Can
you and
imagine
three of your
Yes.
with the graphics and stuff that they could do now? Oh my god, that would look.
Or here's one.
Uh,
How about a
co-op-
remake
I would love
of
for-
Heroes
I
of
would-
Might and Magic 3?
I would love for Rayman
That's also
remaster
Ubisoft.
because I haven't played 1 and 2, and I love 3.
Rayman was awesome. I remember
Rayman Legends.
playing that on Stadia. Yeah, Rayman Legends. Thank you. Yeah.
And never gonna stop hoping for a Heroes of Might and Magic 3 remaster, a remake, because that game's awesome.
Where did I have it? All right. Everybody is excited to hear about Stadia 2, right?
Oh, sweet.
All right. Stadia is coming
You
back,
mean-
everybody.
Stadia's Angels.
Did
Somebody
you
found
hear
out.
about this?
Somebody. I won't mention his name, but he went to a porn site, and that's where he found that information. I think he got that off
Okay.
the porn site.
Everybody, this is
Remember-
the big news of the day. All right, Stadia 2 right here. Let's party this year with Stadia 2. If everybody remembers Stadia, then you'll all know that you want it back, and here it is. You can call us now for some reason for the next generation of gaming, because you would landline call somebody for the next generation of gaming. Now, Callie Drew Voss brought this to my attention. I thought it was absolutely awesome. I wish that it was real, but when you scroll down through this website, you can clearly see that Charlie's Angels are not starting Stadia 2. None of these links actually work, and they even keep some things from the template here, and the email party planner at example.com doesn't bode a lot of confidence. This is the 2024 Stadia2.com. So all of you who are fond of Stadia, guess what? Stadia 2 is in the works. Would you jump on board on Stadia 2? I'll bring it to the panel. We're starting from Bjorn at the top here.
I think, and this feels weird to say, but I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't I would have my qualms about it. There would need to be some very good insurances before I would jump on it. But yeah, I gotta ask, what date was this article published?
Yeah, I know somebody threw in the chat late April Fool's joke. Sanchez Gaming is saying, I bet this seems like a late April Fool's joke. It was 2024. I'm upset I didn't see this and share it around on April Fool's. But who knows? Maybe this is real. Maybe this is draft 1 and Charlie's Angels is really getting together to create Stadia 2. Callie, what are your thoughts? Where did you find this? How did you bring this to my attention here?
On Facebook, I'm part of some Stadia community, and someone posted about it, and there were pictures of someone else posting saying, hey, Stadia2.com is available, and then they go, oh, hey, it's $80,000 to own the domain, and then, hey, does anybody want to donate? And now we have the website.
I see. So there's some sort of, I mean, they should click donate to be a founder. I mean, that's the button I would put right on here, and then I would be collecting that money.
Oh, yeah.
Just set up a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or something, and then once you hit that goal, because I'm sure it would hit pretty quickly, then you'd be like, oh, sorry, we just went bankrupt.
Guys, like I have
Callie, did you call the number?
This is perfect. There's so much salt in here.
Ray's saying you called the number. Did you call it, or is Ray just talking trash?
I heard it's a pretty legit. Hey, look. To be fair, it's a legit number. I looked it up. It's area. It's let's see, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, you don't get more legit than that.
Yeah,
that's a direct line to Phil. No, that's a direct line to Phil. Like, I mean, he's even a part of this.
Maker, what are your feelings on Stadia 2? Obviously, this seems to be an April Fool's joke, but would you buy into the technology again? Would you? What would Stadia 2? Here's a better question for you, Maker. What would Stadia 2 need to do to make you buy a subscription?
Okay, so it would have to release an exclusive video game day one on the platform. And when I say exclusive game, not a guild, like a high budgeted game. And then I'd go, okay, maybe I will check it out.
Yeah. I want more than that. I want them to publish something from software, something from Ubisoft, and then something, from another studio as well. I want them to publish 3 freaking games exclusive to their console if they're going to try this again. But Ray, how do you feel about Stadia 2? Would you jump back in to give it a try? How do you think about Charlie's Angels running this company? Would you be Charlie?
I'm going to tell you like this, dude. There was a girl that broke my heart. It broke my heart. And Stadia is like a girlfriend that really broke my heart. It would take a lot for me to
Phoenix
go back
with the burns.
I guess it also comes down to like what you liked about Stadia in the first place. Like, did you go into it for the promise of the technology promise, or for the it's like affordable gaming by Google, or like what brought you in the first place? I think that also affects how you would what would be important, but also how you would see going back to it. And like if it was Charlie's Angels was like it's Google, then it's one thing, and if it's someone else,
it was the told you, it was the team that told you we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Don't believe the rumors. And I know that was one. You had two departments that just wasn't connecting right, because you had one department saying something, and you had another department they had already like it's a done deal. But when you like just all the investing into something and the believing in something, and then for it not to happen, it hurt. I'm not gonna sit here, like I put over $3,000 into games and controllers and stuff, and I know there's people that done more than that, and they believed in something because you were told, like, we were getting ready to go next gen, we were getting ready to go to different countries, we were getting ready to get, these games, we were doing the porting, all the stuff that they were saying that they were doing, and it just didn't happen. So now, but it made me a better consumer, because now uh I want to see, before I even invest more money into something, that it actually comes true, and I'll just leave it at that.
And
Here's the thing, for
Family
me, it's
Cloud
all
Gaming
about.
makes a good point. Don't think I could go back from GFN. Getting into games was fast on Stadia, but GFN runs so much better in every way once you are in the game. And that's the thing. The performance on GeForce now for cloud gaming is honestly pinnacle. And I think Stadia was more about the community, was more about being on a cloud console. You were the underdog team coming out of nowhere in this console war, but Stadia 2, I think, would have a much different and much harder uphill battle to get into the console world. Any closing thoughts on this one from the panel? Actually, Vet, I didn't hear on you. Did you want to say, did you sign up for Stadia 2 already? Have you called the number?
No, I actually drove out. I drove to Chicago so I could check on it. It's just a vacant lot. Actually, I found out that really when I looked, I made a wrong turn in Des Moines. So when I went back to the address that's listed on the website in Chicago, it's actually the Google graveyard. So just throwing that out there. But no, I would not. No part of me would sign up for that. The only way that I would be willing is if it was not owned by Google. Google comes out and says, "Hey, we're doing Stadia 2." Yeah, it's dead on arrival. No part of me would touch any gaming product that Google comes up with, because it's going to last about 6 months to a year, and then it's going to get turned off and thrown right into the graveyard that's located in New Lenox, Chicago, Illinois.
To me, I guess it's more the reason I signed up for, I got on board with Stadia in the first place was the promise of cloud native gaming and the advances in technology that meant. And I don't care who does it. I just want someone to do it, and whoever does it first is the one I'm gonna be all in on that. No matter, so even if it's a Stadia 2.0, or if it's a xCloud 2.0, or you name it, I'm going to be interested in it and invested, because that's the future of gaming that excites me the most. I don't really care that much about the performance side of it. I care about the doors that open up in the possibilities of what's possible to make. You can't do a game like cloud native unless you have the structure for it, of course. But so if Google were to come out with we're gonna try it again, I would need some sort of reassurances from them to be that they're actually gonna try it this time, preferably with some new leadership, not only at the Stadia team but also at Google in general. But the technology itself and the concept and the idea of it and the dream of it, that's why I signed up in the first place. Anyone does that, I'm back in.
I don't think they will, though.
All for the dream. That's a good sentiment, Bjorn. Absolutely.
I don't think they will.
Ray, I just want to give you a heads up. I know you got a sports show, so I just wanted to give you a 10-minute warning before the end, in case you had to head out. Just giving you that heads up. But let's talk about one of the other subjects I have on here, which is State of Decay 3, teased by Insider for June Xbox Showcase. So we got some games teased, possibly Gears of War 6, possibly State of Decay 3. I myself would be absolutely excited to try out a new State of Decay. I like the series a lot. I think it's a great idea. co-op aspect in 2 was good. I really think they can build upon that. The system where if you die, you become someone else in your camp, I really thought that was creative and a way to really connect you to your characters. Do you think this is a possibility, or do you think this is just rumors? Let's open it up to the panel.
State of Decay, if that's an actual thing, I'm excited for that, because let me tell you, State of Decay 2 is a fantastic game.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Maker, do you think Gears 6 and State of Decay 3 are a shoe-in for the showcase?
I would say Gears 6 based on, like, because Jeff Grubb basically said, yeah, I see it at the showcase, but or he said that's what he's hearing. As far as State of Decay 3, I feel like this rumor is a little bit more stretching, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. It's a rumor. All right. Well, quickly, let's bounce to some jiggle physics here in Stellar Blade's main character, and is drawing unfair criticism over, what should be displayed in games. So I wanted to open it up because I feel like this is very much a opinion-based situation. What do you think of the model they used, and do you think it's going over and top? Do you think it's a sexualized doll, or do you think it's a... Oh yeah, take care, Ray. I know you got that sports show.
See you, Ray.
But I want to say I did play the Stellar demo, and guess what? I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Jiggly. I'm out. Bye.
No, I don't think it's. I think people are making a big deal out of it, because if that was the case, they'd be digging up every game that is based on the same kind of style. Do we not forget?
I've heard that it is a big deal. So,
well, what about beach volleyball? Did you guys forget about that beach volleyball that was for the GameCube? Pretty sure that had the same style.
Are you talking about Dead or Alive?
Yeah, Dead or Alive beach volleyball. That was
Dead or Alive had a beach volleyball.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But no, I think it's just the way society is. They're finding something they don't like, and they're going to pinpoint on it, and the community is just going to blow it up out of proportion. And I think there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just people are just finding something to complain about.
I do want to point out too, as a previous PlayStation fan, PlayStation has always been like this. There's Mr. Mosquito, which seems like an innocent game, but there's a lot more to it.
What about every game that comes, that is for PlayStation? Almost all of them have a similar style. Maybe not as jiggly, but I mean, as technology gets better, the games are going to.
Important question though for the discussion. Having jiggly bits, all good, but
say that one more time.
Is there also a male version with jiggly bits?
Yeah, exactly. There's two sides of the coin.
It's one thing. If you only have female models in the game that are all jiggly and stuff, but no male models, then it's a problem. But if you have both, then who cares? I think in general games shouldn't shy away from nudeness. I think nudeness itself, and maybe this is just the European in me talking, but nudeness itself isn't the weird thing. We're all human bodies in the end. If you want to have nude bodies and jiggly physics on them, go for it. But at least make sure that it's on for all genders. It's nothing weird about it.
I think that Bjorn solved the problem anyways. If they had just labeled it jiggly bits, would have been fine. No one would have cared.
Yeah, but also, like a male character with some speedos on, with a jiggly thing inside the speedos. Sure, add that as well, and everyone's happy. Then no one would even complain in the first place, because it would be everyone's jiggly, and add a Jigglypuff while they're at it, and you can compete with Palworld.
To me, it reminds me a little bit of the backlash that Nier Automata got back in 2017. That one, they had a demo, and in the demo, the main character wears a maid outfit, and the skirt part of it can be destroyed, and like so it's very revealing. And a lot of people were taking shots or like clips of her going up and down the ladder. You know, it's
Well, yeah, there was also that for Resident Evil 4 too.
But,
Resident Evil 4 has a.
Did they have
this one
a scantily clad character in one of the Resident Evil games too? Come on.
There's also a character in Nier Automata who's basically wearing a skin suit. So yeah, it does have some like over sexualization, and like the creator basically on release was like, I like the female body, and so there's like a backlash about that. There's
I mean, that's the thing. That you gotta be like, you can do sexualization and scantily clad people, but you gotta be consistent. You can't just make it one gender. Because if you do, it is a problem. But if you
well, I mean, it was mostly the women in that game.
I gotta get. Well, see, look, I gotta agree with Ron. Who wants jiggly male models? Come on, now.
No, but there's
that game
unrealistic male body standards in games as well. Like there's Gears of War that we were just talking about. I mean, those guys are HGH'd out of their minds. Like 42-inch biceps. Like, are you crazy?
What are you talking about? I got those right now. I mean, I got those kind of No, I'm just kidding.
What about Kratos? Kratos is like, he looks like a 60-year-old man, but he's like bulked out.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he was a god though, so I mean, he wasn't the Thor that
vulgar and Thor was scrawny.
Around sexualization, like it should never be like look how this game sexualizes women, or like it should be like look at how this game sexualizes, or it should be look at how this game isn't equal between how it displays the genders. And then if you like, if you want to do sexualization or in like body types that aren't normal or healthy, then that's one thing, but that's another that's the discussion. I think we've usually end up in a discussion where that's not the case. That's American problem.
The problem, the thing I see is I see people saying that they're gonna like dock points on it because of this, and to me in the past it hasn't really changed much. It hasn't made that much of a difference. Just look at like Nier Automata's review scores. It's sitting on Metacritic at an 88 with an 8.9 user score. The game is a very good game, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, and same with Rebirth, right? It's not like games changed moving forward. They just keep doing it.
This is the reality, though. If you what sells? If they had made it like, if you make a game that looks like that with the jiggly bits versus a game that looks like just the average, let's just use an average American, right? No, which game are you going to buy? You're not going to buy the one that showcases the average overweight American versus.
It depends on which one looks good.
We know
Last of Us Part 2 sold well.
Baby Steps looks good.
But I'm saying overall, what sells? I'm just saying.
Baby Steps coming out. Oh my gosh.
Hey, don't forget Cyberpunk.
Jiggly bits sell. Jiggly bits sell, and that's where this game. That's why this game's going to succeed.
Well, that's all we had for today's download. Thank you everyone for coming in and chatting it up with all of us. Chat, you've been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for keeping it alive, keeping it active in there. You guys are all awesome, and we're reading everything you're saying and laughing back here. Ron, my cyberpunk character, is Jiggly. Hilarious. Guys, what's going on? What do you got going on this week in the content realm, or where can people find you? We'll start with Bjorn at the top.
Don't have much going on content-wise currently. I'm trying to sort out some IRL stuff and some stomach flu, but as soon as I'm done with that, I have some stuff coming on the channel.
Awesome, dude. Callie, what's going on? Where can people find you? When are you throwing up a stream? Let people know.
I'm gonna be shooting for a stream sometime tonight, and I don't know what I'll be streaming. Maybe some Helldivers, because I know I need to get back into the groove of streaming, and I'm gonna try a different schedule because Thursday's not working. So. But yeah.
Cool. Well, look out for Callie, and then Maker. What's going on? Where can people find
you can find me on Twitter, MakerCast12.
Awesome. And Vet, what's going on?
Same old. I've got my streaming stuff set up with how I'm able to finally stream again. So I'm just working on getting the schedule, but I don't know what I'll be playing. Probably I know I'll be jumping in with Ghost Threads for some Fortnite, but I'll probably be doing some GTA Online, Red Dead Redemption Online, the original. I've still been jumping back and forth with the Division 2 because it's still a fun game. And then just some random other games here and there that I might throw in, some Call of Duty Warzone Mobile as well.
Oh, cool. We look forward to that. One question I want to highlight here. Family Cloud Gaming says, do you think Microsoft would allow their developers to make a game like Stellar Blade? And I'm thinking, is there a game like Stellar Blade, like with a female character model out there like this on the Microsoft side? Can anyone...
Yeah, this is more Japanese focused.
Yes, there's
Right.
her name
I'm
is
just thinking-
Cortana, and she's blue.
Cortana. That was what I was thinking. You guys were bringing that up the other day. Cortana.
I mean, she was pretty
right?
hot in like 4 and 5.
What does Cortana look like right now? I'm going to bring that up before we go. Cortana.
She does not,
Halo.
does not look as hot as she used to be.
Co-pilot.
She looks like Copilot. Is she Copilot?
Yep. Microsoft has replaced Cortana on Windows with Copilot. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, yeah, she's pretty
I don't even
out
have
there and
Cortana.
voluptuous. Like, why does the AI need, double E cups? That's kind of excessive.
Is it though?
Is it
Is it?
compute power somewhere?
I mean, is it?
Maybe the hard drive space. I don't know.
Well, we'll add on that. Does Cortana need double E cups? Thanks, everybody, for coming by. We'll be back next week with
Double
more
E drives.
download. Take care and be kind. All right, and we're off. Thanks, everybody.
Grove. Why try to believe in me? Why try, do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me. Oh, finds hype super decently smooth. Nice tie, but a cigarette.